doing exactly what he should do today, which is to try to frame this in the most unfavorable way possible and build a lot of assumptions into what he just said there. And the key of that is to make the giant leap that this Goldstone character, who's a lot more Austin Powers than he is 007, is somehow a direct arm of the Kremlin here. That has not been established. Nowhere in here do we see.
Well, I think he was talking about the lawyer. He was talking about the woman.
Right, but that was initiated by this Goldstone guy. So you have to assume then that he's part of that. At least that's the assumption that he's making here, that all of this was part of this overture on the part of the Kremlin. That hasn't been established by this at all. And I just think that there is such a rush here in order to try, because the Democrats have staked everything. They've raised the bar. He talks about lowering the bar. They've raised the bar to the point where if they do not definitively prove collusion, then everything's going to be let off the hook, because that's how high they've raised the bar. And this does not demonstrate that, because there are too many assumptions built into that. But that's what his job is as the lead Democrat.
But I think so what, if anything, about all of this, about the emails, about the woman coming from Moscow, the lawyer, what, if anything, bothers you?
But they shouldn't have done the meeting. I mean, clearly they shouldn't have done the meeting.
Anything else?
That is a central mistake. Number one, they should have taken the meeting. Number two, when they have this information that implies the Russian government's involved here, you inform the FBI because they're the lead on counterintelligence and the like. So there's no doubt that that was a mistake to do that. Further, going back to what we discussed earlier, in that it's important to stop this drip, 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 gather all the information that you can, put this out. If you've ever gone, every time you've had any caviar, anytime you've seen Fiddler on the Roof, gone to a Russian restaurant, all of that has got to be put out in the public view to stop the drip, 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 so that we can get back onto debating things like moving a legislative agenda.
Let's cut to the chase here. Do you think Putin is a good guy and is a friend of the United States?
Absolutely not.
Well, do you think Russia the President of the United States does?
So Russia is a menace. Is a menace not only to this government under Vladimir Putin, is a menace to their own people. They're a menace in the region. They're a menace to every democracy in the West. They deliberately try to intervene in our election. They put the full force of their trolls and the FSB and the GRU in an unprecedented effort to try to affect the American election.
Why can't the President of the United States say that?
Then, given everything you just said?
Why isn't the President's hair on fire?
Yeah.
Question.
Well, candidly,
that's the thing that's so mystifying.
We have a special counsel who's been appointed, who is a solid guy, has appointed a solid team, and that investigation is ongoing. You have a House investigation, you have a Senate investigation. So I don't see what the need is to take every little thing and try to make all these grand assumptions.
Fired FBI director.
It's not every little thing. The main point Congressman Schiff was making was that every time there's a forgotten meeting, every time there's something that smells, it doesn't come back to Canada, it doesn't come back to Great Britain, it comes back to Russia. And in every way, shape, or form suggests that the president is compromised and almost out of a bad novel is beholding to our #1 enemy. And this is frightening stuff. And I don't know how many more little nuggets we have to get to that and understand there's any other possibility.
I think if you take a look at what the policies that this administration has put forward, nothing suggests. In fact, it's been the exact opposite. Yes, the president did say at one point during the campaign that he thought NATO was obsolete. That position has been reversed. He's affirmed NATO. He's made numerous statements to that end. They launched 59 cruise missiles into hitting an airbase in Putin's ally of Syria in response to a chemical weapons attack. Right. So in terms of policy, the Russians have gotten nothing whatsoever, and in fact this thing has backfired very, very badly. But there's no doubt there's a Russian effort involved. But this email today, was that a part of that? That has not been established.
Joining us now, Jeff Jacobitz. He's a lawyer who has represented officials in the Clinton White House. Jeff, let me ask you, Bob Mueller, he's got a lot on his desk. What's he doing? Where's he going with what he has just today?
Well, remember, he had been looking at obstruction, he had been looking at perjury. Now he's certainly looking at conspiracy to violate the election fraud laws, because what you have are 3 individuals who are going to a meeting with the knowledge of the emails that they're about to receive possibly dirt on Hillary Clinton. In terms of the conspiracy, what nobody has talked about is, what about a potential conspiracy between the 3 individuals attending the meeting and Mr. Goldstone in England? So not even talking about the Russian lawyer, Mr. Goldstone in England, who's told him if you go to this meeting, you're going to get some dirt on Hillary.
So, Jeff, only one of those 3 that you mentioned is currently in the employ of the United States government. He works at the White House. His name is Jared Kushner. What's his legal exposure here?
Well, besides the false statements on the SF-86 form, his security clearance form, he's walking into a meeting where he's high up in the campaign trying to get dirt on Hillary Clinton from a foreign country, a foreign adversary, which arguably is illegal and conspiratorial.
So if you're representing Donald Trump Jr., if he calls you to represent him, other than telling your potential client to shut up and stop talking, what's your strategy?
The first thing is to shut up and stop talking. You hit that perfectly. The second thing is, did I waive the Fifth Amendment privilege by talking even though I wasn't under oath? And can I take the Fifth in the future when the Senate Intelligence Committee calls me to testify?
Jeff Jacobitz, thanks very much. We appreciate it. We'll be right back with much more reaction to the release of emails between Donald Trump Jr.